Have you ever really stopped to think about the streets you walk every day? The buildings you pass, the parks you sit in. They're not just concrete and steel. They're actually living archives, absolutely filled with the echoes of the past and the dreams for the future. So that brings us to a really simple but kind of profound question. What exactly is a city? I mean, is it just a spot on a map, or is it something more? Well, we think it's a living story. It's like a constant conversation happening between generations, where every single street corner holds a piece of a much, much bigger story. And figuring out that story, that's never been more important. Because, let's be honest, today's young people aren't just inheriting our cities, they're inheriting a world that's more connected, more complex, and frankly, more challenging than ever. And to navigate it, they're going to need a lot more than a map. They need a whole new way of seeing. To really thrive in this world, they need more than just facts and figures. They absolutely need digital literacy to make sense of it all, cultural awareness to understand each other, critical thinking to question what they see, and resilience to help build a better future. Look, traditional education gives you a great foundation, for sure. But to really find their place in this world, our kids need new ways of seeing, new perspectives that connect the dots between where we've all been and where we're going. Sometimes the most innovative ideas actually have roots deep in the past. So to find a new way forward, we looked back to a Renaissance thinker who had a pretty revolutionary view of the world around him. And this is what's so cool. We're talking about Erasmus von Rotterdam. Hundreds of years ago, as he traveled across Europe, he saw cities completely differently. He didn't see them as just engines for commerce, but as these living, breathing centers for ideas, for art, for human connection. And that got us thinking, what if we could give a new generation that same lens? What if we could all learn to see our own modern cities, our own world, through his curious and, insightful eyes? And that very idea is right at the heart of a project we call CityWISE. It's designed to do exactly that. CityWISE. It stands for Cities Through the Eyes of Erasmus. It's an educational project that's built on a simple but really transformative mission to help young people see their own cities, and really their whole world, through a new and more meaningful lens. And this isn't just a small classroom idea. It's a major European initiative. CityWISE is an official Erasmus Plus cooperation partnership, which means it brings together institutions from across Europe to innovate in school education. So, you might be wondering, how does it all work? Well, CityWISE bridges that historical perspective with super modern innovation, putting some really powerful tools right into the hands of students and teachers. At its core, it's all about this active, three-step approach. This isn't about just passively absorbing information. Nope. It's about learning to actively observe your surroundings, to question the history and the meaning behind what you see, and then, and this is the best part, to create your own stories about it. And this is how it all comes to life. The project is building a user-friendly mobile app and website where students don't just consume content, they actually create it. It's a totally participatory platform designed from the ground up to be inclusive, multilingual, and accessible to everybody. And that right there is the fundamental shift. It totally transforms students and teachers from being passive learners into being active creators, historians, and storytellers for their own cities. Now, a project about European culture naturally needs a true European spirit of collaboration, right? It's all about building those connections right across the continent. So CityWISE brings together this really dynamic partnership of schools from three very distinct and culturally rich corners of Europe. We've got France, Turkey, and Greece. This international partnership is really what gives the project its power. It blends the unique perspectives of students from, say, Paris, Thessaloniki, and Antalya. It creates this amazing cross-cultural dialogue that just enriches the learning for everyone. I mean, that's something you could never do inside just one country. Okay, so beyond the cool tools and the partnerships, what's the real-world impact? What does this project really hope to achieve for the people who take part in it? Well, the impact is designed to be felt right across the board. For students, it means a huge boost in their digital skills and a much deeper cultural awareness. For teachers, it opens up brand new, innovative ways to get their classrooms excited. And for all of our communities, it helps grow a new generation of active, curious, and engaged European citizens. When you look at the project's core goals, you can see just how comprehensive it is. It's not just about tech or just about history.
It's about weaving together digital skills, cultural heritage, critical thinking, and collaboration to create a truly innovative way to learn.
So, if a city truly is a conversation that spans centuries, then CityWise is all about making sure that the next generation has a voice in that conversation, a voice that's informed, confident, and creative. And that leaves all of us with a final and I think inspiring challenge. Are we ready to really understand the complex stories of our past so that we can empower our youth to write the stories of our shared future? This is the promise of CityWise, a project that invites every single one of us to see our city, to share our story, and together to shape our future.